Hey everybody, just want to give a quick shout out. All right, Bluebird Cottage Cafe and Event Center. This is opening in the summer. All right, come on in for a quick bite or just some coffee, just in a nice country setting like nothing other. All right, or you can schedule a special event any way you like it. All of the information is down in the description. And without further ado, here's the podcast.
One more podcast. It is time for another one. One more podcast.
1, 2, 3. All right.
Done.
Whatever.
All right.
Just sync it from when I sync it on the Tinket.
Perfect. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to the One More Podcast. I'm here with my buddy Blake and my other buddy Cole. We are here to answer questions because it is super amusing to hear about people's depressing lives and reflect on our better lives. Just kidding, that's not why we do it. We do it because we love people. And
for legal reasons, we have to say you can't actually listen to our advice. We are not liable for anything.
We are not liable for ruining your life potentially or making your life better. So either way, win-win, double-edged sword. Let's just jump into it. Number one, I can't stop obsessing. IDK. I just can't. Every time I try and stop, it just goes back into the hole. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lie down on the ground. She's so much better than me in every way. I don't know. I don't talk to girls so much. Oh, so this is about a girl. I thought this was just a general obsessing question.
No.
Because then I could totally relate to that. But
read the context of that.
This leads in too deep.
I don't talk to girls much, but she was a coworker friend who was forced to talk to me, even though I told her how I felt. She mentioned she didn't know how she felt. I guess maybe because she was scared if she said no, I would do something, or maybe it was legitimate. Either way, I can't get it out of my head. Well, stop obsessing. Done. Next question.
Pretty much.
I don't know. Cole, do you have anything off the bat?
I mean, basically, yeah, stop obsessing. But, I mean, just find something else to occupy your mind. Like,
yes.
Going over it more and more is just going to make it worse. That's all I can really say. I know it's not easy to just stop, so find something to get your mind away from it.
Okay, that makes sense. What about just in general? Obsessing in general. Just like, doesn't have to be about ladies. Same thing applies. I'm gonna do.
I mean, like, I obsess over like a certain band for like 3 or 4 months, and I listen to every song they've ever played ever.
But
like,
is that unhealthy?
I don't think it's unhealthy. No.
I mean, it depends on what you're obsessing over, and like obsessing over a band isn't going to be a bad thing unless you get to the point where you're not doing anything else other than listening to this band all the time. You're spending all your money on merchandise to the point where it's like actually affecting you financially. You're stocking the band, so on and so forth.
Yeah, but think about how much cool stuff you have.
True.
I don't know. I guess you're right. I guess I didn't take obsessing that far because, like, I know whenever I get into my car, I'm gonna put on my favorite Alice in Chains song because that's what I've been doing the past couple months. But that's about, and I'll learn a couple of their songs on guitar, and then that's it.
But is that a healthy obsession?
I think that is, yeah.
Okay.
See, I wouldn't even say that's an obsession though. Like, the word obsession has strong meaning. That's you are passionate about that band.
Yeah.
Passion can become obsession, but I think there's a line between the two.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to, try to be Lane Staley.
Sure.
Like, go that far.
But just to confirm, there is a line. So then tie it back to the girl. Like, is it there's a line of thinking about it, not just overly obsessing about it, right? Like, is it fair to think about it, contemplate?
Think about a girl all you want, but don't do anything that would be borderline stalking or, something illegal.
Or even, like, if it's to the point where you can't stop thinking about her and you're, like, not moving forward with your life, you're not seeking other relationships, you're making yourself sick, you're so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
An obsession becomes dangerous, an addiction becomes dangerous when it starts negatively affecting your life or other people's lives.
It's time for an intervention for this dude then. Buddy, if you're listening, there are other fish in the sea. There are. You don't need to worry about this girl. The reason that she said she doesn't know how she feels is because she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. You got to understand that. Girls are nice. They're not going to say, get out of here, you ugly piece of garbage. That's rude. So you're just going to have to move on, you know. This is going to be weird, but my best advice is to rub one out and get a clear head.
Oh, for sure.
I was going to say that.
No, for sure. That definitely will help.
The male brain needs the release of those hormones in order to get a level head. So I would do that, and then just really think about the implications of you obsessing over this girl.
Yeah,
that's good. I would like to add one more little thing, and this is more for the broader topic of obsession.
That's fine.
You may, if you are someone that obsesses over things, I have a problem with obsession with certain things when I'm writing comics or doing art, to the point where I'm not actually getting anything done because I'm obsessing too much over the details or the bigger picture, one of the two, and it stops me from going. If you're someone like that, you may have some form of mental issues. Like for me, I have severe anxiety and ADD, and those things directly tie into my obsessive tendencies. So I try to handle it as best as I can, and it doesn't necessarily affect me in other aspects of my life, so that's good. But maybe seek help if you are someone that struggles with literally obsessing over things.
Do you have OCD, Cole?
No, not OCD, ADD.
No, I was asking.
I
was asking if separate from your ADD, do you have OCD?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't gone and been diagnosed for that.
Gotcha. Just curious.
I probably have some kind of slight form of OCD.
Well,
so.
I thought I did too, because whenever my cousin stays with us, I can't stand how he leaves, towels on the floor. Like, I need my bathroom in my room to be a certain way.
Right.
And I thought, am I just being a OCD dick, or is this an actual or am I just being an asshole and being nitpicky? And I don't know. I still haven't figured that out. I'm still picking after his shit, though. Stanton, if you're listening, get your shit together.
Long story short, get yourself checked out before you get yourself wrecked out. Right?
Damn. You're a poet, but you don't know it.
All right, next one. Life choices. I'm a 19-year-old working in a factory making $9 an hour in Kentucky. A friend recently offered me a job in Utah as a tree trimmer, starting off pay $15 an hour, and he trains me within 9 months, eventually making $25 an hour. He also said that he owns a house in Utah and would be willing to room with me. Others told me to do it, and I'm still young, and I'm single / don't have a family of my own yet, but I figured it'd be nice to ask best friend Reddit first. So what should this person do?
Go for it.
For
really?
sure.
Go for it.
Not even take time to
got to try new things.
Figure out what's going on, because it doesn't sound like this is a limited act now or you'll never have it.
No, I was in a similar situation where I went to school for criminal law and I was planning on going into the military, and then this opportunity came about where I was going to fix dents on cars, and I saw the huge upside to it, the training that involved, how it would make me into a more successful man, and I as quick as I could, I said yes to it, and I don't regret the decision at all.
Okay.
And so,
but in this instance, if this opportunity came along, but you had to, I guess it's not, since he specified that it's not, he doesn't have family or anything like that,
or a girlfriend or anything
right.
like that.
So, but what if your instance you had to move long distance across country?
Well, I was going to do that anyway.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I went into the military.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah.
But
so
if I didn't, then I don't know. I wouldn't want to leave Texas, but that's just me. If you're not loving your life in Kentucky working in a factory, then try your luck in Utah. Just you're 19, you got the whole world in front of you, dude. You can turn your path around pretty much whenever you want up until a certain age. Go for it, try it out, and if you don't like it, move back.
I mean, not even a certain age. You can turn your life around literally whenever you want.
Yes,
it just may not be for the better.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, if you're going to make mistakes, might as well do them now.
Oh, yeah,
that's true. Yeah, lose money, do whatever, get all that out of your system, because I think definitely everything amplifies the older you get. So it's better to lose out on some investment or fail now when the stakes are low versus when you're 45 and you have a mortgage and a family and bills to pay, and then it's oh, I totally screwed up, and now everything's amplified and can fluctuate to everyone else. So
sure.
My only thing, I do agree, go for it, seize the day, but fully make sure you understand what you're going into, because as I've said a million times, I hate not knowing. So if this person is willing to let you room, well, can you pay month to month? Is he asking you to do a 6-month lease or an actual full year lease?
You have to convert to Mormonism,
right? Exactly. Like, what are all the stipulations? And then find more about the job. If the job seems relatively good and you're okay with doing it, perfect. If you're thinking about doing education, look at schools. If that's not your concern, then don't worry about it. But I would say do it, but fully flesh out what could happen and all the possibilities. So obviously Blake shaking his head means he hates it, and I'm stupid for suggesting it.
I was yawning.
I'm just kidding. Okay, any other closing?
No, good luck to you, dude.
All right, good luck.
Make sure he's not a serial killer.
That's true. Yeah,
that's probably first question, right?
Leading to this place to
yeah, but he's going to Utah.
Shelter. There are people in Utah.
Huh?
There are people in Utah.
I understand there are people in Utah, Yuval. I'm just saying, you don't hear anything bad happen in Utah.
Yeah. Utah is kind of a...
It's very mellow.
Because they're all dead.
What?
That's
because they're all dead.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so this one's kind of a long one, but I think it's an interesting topic. So let's...
Did you have these pre-picked out?
No, I'm just literally live on Reddit. So,
okay.
Cole, if you want to pull up a separate tab and start looking and you see anything interesting, definitely interrupt. All right. So this one. I don't want to attend my uncle's funeral. Hi, all. My mother's brother died a few days ago, and she's flying to the south, where we live in California. She asked if I can go, and I initially said no, but she's guilt-tripping me into attending and says such things as, but it's a death, and everyone wants to see you. For the backstory, my mother moved away from them when I was 4 due to some serious dysfunctional family issues. Therefore, I was not raised around them and have absolutely no relationship to them apart from the fact that we're blood-related. My uncle came to visit when I was younger, so I have 2 distinct memories of him that were good. I also saw him about 1 month ago when he came to see my mom, which was also a good memory. My mother is distraught over his death because they were very close. I really hate to admit it, but though I'm very sad for her, I'm not personally affected. My reasons for not wanting to attend are A, I'm a full-time student for 16 hours. I have an exam next week, and I would also miss a day of class and fall behind. I'd also have to take 3 days off of work. B, I simply don't want to go. I do not feel close to this family and would be okay with never seeing any of them in my lifetime. I know that sounds harsh, but they're very dysfunctional. Am I being too selfish? I would instead like to celebrate him in another way of having dinner with my mom and talking about the good memories. And how do I break this to my mom? I don't want to attend. I say go.
Yeah, I kind of went through the same thing whenever one of my uncles died, when my great uncles died, and I never knew JR. I remember I see pictures of me as a toddler and as a baby in his lap or whatever, but I can't tell you one memory that I've had that he was actively involved. But I went anyway, and it really wasn't for paying respects to my uncle, which I didn't know. It was being there for my mom and my grandma. And that was my grandma's older brother. That was important to her, and that was important to my mom. That was the uncle that was there for her whenever he needed her or whenever she needed him. So I would go, and I don't know. It doesn't sound. I don't want to sound like I'm Mr. High and Mighty and talking down to you on my high horse, but I would say, it is a little.
There are other factors.
It is a little. It's a little self-centered because you got to think about everybody else in that family that would like for you to be there, and that if you're strong enough to be there for that part of your family.
Sure.
My half of the family is incredibly dysfunctional too. I get it, but there's still people that need support whenever they need it, and if you love your family enough, then you're going to do that for them.
Yeah. Cole, you were about to say something before Blake rudely interrupted you.
So I was in the same situation, but it was with my grandfather, and I did not go to the funeral. And It was a very, 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 very tough decision. I cried a lot. I was up all night trying to make this decision and all this kind of stuff. And, there were a lot of factors. I would have to miss a bunch of school. The plane was super these were all just excuses, but the plane was super expensive. I would have to fly across the country, and it was like a 5 a.m. flight and all this kind of stuff. And I was going over it over and over because the stuff I was going to miss with school was very important. Like if I had missed it, it would have been a problem. But those were all things I kept saying, like, oh, those are just excuses. I need to go to this funeral. And I wasn't close with my grandfather, but I saw him often when I was a kid. He's the one who helped get me into comics and art because he was a comic collector and all this kind of stuff. And I couldn't figure out why I shouldn't go, but for some reason it just felt like I did not want to go to this thing. I did not want to go to this funeral and do this stuff. And so I talked to my dad, and I asked him, like, is the family going to hate me for not going? And luckily my family, or at least his side of the family, is very tough and strong, and they're not super emotional people. So, like, the funeral was very simple. It wasn't very sad. They just shared some good memories, and that was it. Right. And so what I did to kind of make up, and even now I can't give an answer as to why I didn't go, but how I kind of made up for it was I wrote a very long letter, basically, to the family and to my grandfather for them to read, and that was kind of my contribution to the funeral. And then not long after, because school ended not long after, I did fly out there and spent time with the family, and I visited the grave and all that kind of stuff. I know that doesn't really give that guy any sort of answer.
Well, no,
but what I'm saying is I was in the same situation. I chose not to, and so it just comes down to the context of your family and what they need or don't need, what you need or don't need.
No, I think that's very much both of you guys have provided very real and good answers. Then I guess he can't go wrong either way, as long as I think then the core thing is putting in the actual effort. Because if it's yes, I have work, I have school, blah 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 blah, whatever, and then he doesn't do anything outside of that, well then I think maybe during the summer, like Cole, what you did. Well, I wouldn't, not that you went during the summer, but during his off break, then go see the family, or spend that extra time. Personally, for me, I think just if his mom is really egging him to go and stuff like that, I think he should just go. It's kind of one of those responsibilities / blood is blood. So you're that's the only family you've got. Sure, you growing up, getting married, creating new family, that's great and all, but you need to, I think you need to really cherish those who you have in your life. So whether or not they're calling on you, I think it's important to extend that hand, because then what happens if it's the other way around and you're in trouble? Well, do you want your family to come and help you, or they're going to say, oh no, you're far, you're in trouble, whatever, blah blah blah.
Right. This is a little different because that family, like that grandfather's not in trouble, or uncle's not in trouble. He's dead.
Well, no, true, but I mean, it's the you give, you receive. So if you're going to be distant and far from your family, then they may or may not be distant, because if they're saying that they're a dysfunctional family and stuff like that, then maybe that's how they perceive. Hold on one second, I'm going to get the chicken out of the oven.
This kind of opens up a even more interesting conversation, though, about like what is family and stuff like that, because it sounds like he doesn't like his family, or at least those people, and you can say he has an obligation to go and support them, and I would agree with that to an extent. Like his mother, for example, you should be there for your mother. That's the person who birthed you. But for other family, like if you don't get along with them, or if they're bad for you and it's going to cause problems, I would avoid that. Like I don't know what the specific situation is, but you don't want to have one of those things where you go to the funeral and it becomes about the problems the family has versus focusing on the deceased, which is what it should be, Right. So, yeah. Context is everything, and so we don't have the full story.
So, sorry to interrupt, Cole. So, I think at this point, can we fairly say you're based on your judgment and your reasons why either decision is okay?
Well, just don't. I would just think about, if you don't go, you can't take that back.
That is true. It's
a one-time thing, and you can't travel back in time and pay your respect at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so just
take that into consideration.
Yeah, don't do something that you'll regret.
Right. If he can contribute in another way, though, and it benefits him and the family more, I don't see why he should
more
be
power
able to do that.
But
like I said, put in that effort to
keep up with school for a couple of days. Fuck it. I'll just kind of stay home. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Any closing remarks other than what we've said for the next one? All right.
Yeah. If you hate your family, don't go though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, sure.
If your uncle, or not uncle because he's dead in this instance, sorry. If someone in the family beat you up or something like that, then you might have an extra reason not to go. So I don't know. Anyways,
wow. Dark joke.
Yeah, no, right? I'm full of dark jokes and olive jokes. I've got all of the jokes about olives. Anyways, no one is.
Can we kick Yuval off his own podcast?
Yes. All right. Goodbye, everybody. No one is actively trying to keep up with me. So I have very few friends, and one in particular, I make sure every morning to tell them how much they mean to me and how much I care for them. Then I do the same thing at night over text, every morning when I wake up, blah, 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 repeat. But I wake up with nothing. Every night, I go to sleep without a single word from anyone. It seems like I put in all the effort to show people I love and care for them so they can smile and rely on me when I need them, or when they need me the most. It just hurts every night knowing none of them think the same thing. They all reply when I message them, but none of them start that conversation. It's really starting to get me mentally, and I don't even have to cut off people due to the fact that they just don't do anything. Blah blah blah. Does anyone do communication in a non-needy way? How do I communicate in a non-needy way?
I don't know, I'd first start off by saying that other people show their appreciation and love in different ways.
Yeah, that's true.
So, there's I remember having this kind of discussion with my mom where my mom is very affectionate, and and the way that she shows loves and receives love is with gifts and all the other high end, in quotes, gifts that to show appreciation. My dad is the exact opposite. It's just a system of trust and being there and knowing that you have that person is all that he needs. He doesn't need the gifts or any of that outlandish or lavish stuff that other people might need. And so if you have a friend that maybe they're just not comfortable with taking that step, take that in consideration. You may be the kind of person that is open to texting and being at the forefront of those conversations. I know I'm not.
Sure.
And so if I'm perfectly fine with sitting down with a best friend and watching TV for 4 hours, and we don't even have to say 2 sentences to each other, but I had a great fucking time.
Right.
And so some people just don't operate that way. If they're going out of their way to not respond to you, which I don't think is the case,
right, then
that may be bounds for, wow, this person really just doesn't give a shit. But
I would say have a conversation at least. And because I will say, with the constant reminders and updates and stuff like that, that can get overbearing, even for the very much openly affectionate friends and whatever, and showing the care and compassion. I think that can get a little much if it's almost every day or whatever, however regular basis is. So that might initially just put them off to having the conversation with you about, oh, yes, I care about you, but because you send all these text messages and you constantly do this, then I'm not going to put in that effort. So that could paint a bad picture to begin with. But disregarding all of that, I think just having a conversation, just saying, all right, what's up? How can we fix this, this communication between us? Because if it's just send me a meme every now and then to show you that I care, then do that. If it means forming some other way where once a week you have a conversation about how your week went to your friends, then, because you call them your friends for a reason. It's not like you're some random guy who's talking to this other person that he's got an entire life and friendship of his own, and it's a one-way friendship essentially. So that won't happen because I think you'd immediately be able to pick up on it and then dump that person. But I just think have a conversation with them and really explain what gives, man. What's the holdup?
Yeah.
So, Cole, anything to add? I know we kind of killed that one.
Yeah, you guys kind of said everything I was going to say. Communication, talk to them about it, understand that everyone has their own way of expressing affection and all that. And so I guess I'll just say friendship is a give and take kind of relationship. Do not put everyone says, oh, you should put your all into your friends' stuff. I don't believe that. Put what you can into people and take what you can, but don't expect people to give their 100% to you, and don't give your 100% to them. Everyone has their own lives, and because I believe they said that like it's starting to affect their mental state. They're putting all this emotion into their friends, and they're not getting what they think is enough back. You need to stop that. You need to understand that they have their lives, and you can't put all of your life and all of your mental stability and all that onto your friends. You can't do that. So
yeah,
just imagine a friendship as a really shallow relationship, with another person.
Right.
You're gonna have to work at it. It's not something that you can just expect to be there.
Right.
Yeah, at some point, whether or not you like to have constant communication with a person is it doesn't matter as long as the other person does. I don't know. So if me and my buddy Matt, who we just like to sit down, drink beers, watch baseball, play some pool, play some darts, and listen to some music, that's all we need. We don't have to text each other constantly or have phone calls with each other. But I have another friend who thoroughly enjoys at the end of the week giving me a call and checking up on me and and doing all that stuff. And that's fine. I don't mind doing that, even though I don't like necessarily communicating pretty much with anybody. At that extent, I do because I know that that's what the man, that's what he values, and so I appreciate that, I respect that, and let's do it. I don't mind.
Okay, all right. Any other closing regards on that? Okay. Next one, I think is going to be a fun one. 19-year-old wanting a vasectomy.
Oh.
I'm a 19-year-old Canadian, and I want a vasectomy because I don't like kids. Never have. I doubt I will. However, as the time goes on, maybe my personality will change. I figure that if I want to have kids in the future, I will adopt. Even if I could make my own, I'd rather adopt because it's more humanitarian. In the future, when I have sexual activity, I will be less worried about getting the girl pregnant. The surgery is quick and free. Oh, wow. Good for Canada. My only concern is how...
They do it with a chainsaw, though.
Yeah, there are a lot of complications that could arise. My only concern is how or if I should tell my family about this. Me and my family often live together. No abuse or anything. However, there is a huge stigma against not wanting kids. In general, not specifically in my family. I also know that if I tell my family this, they will tell everyone. They don't keep secrets. I would be able to get the vasectomy without anyone finding out if I don't tell them, and later find out somehow they will feel betrayed. However, they have kept a lot of secrets from me too. That's weird. Why are you saying that?
Going off the rails.
Yeah, okay, sure. They have kept a lot of secrets from me too. Another concern is that this seems like a pretty extreme decision for a 19-year-old.
You mean it's Siemens possible?
God
damn it, that's my bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My only advice to you is if you're gonna do it, freeze a sperm sample first in case you want to.
Just don't do it.
That's smart. You can undo a vasectomy, can't you? Depending on what
I
kind
thought
you
you can only undo.
Very painful.
I thought you can only undo your getting your tubes tied.
Michael Scott had a reverse vasectomy twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
Twice. Yes, I
didn't know he did that.
Yeah, because him and Jan didn't want kids, so he got a vasectomy, and then she wasn't sure about it, and so he got it reversed, and then then she was definitely not sure that she wanted it, so he got another vasectomy. It is snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't do it.
Well, so your values change, right? So
it.
I remember when I was in high school and I was 17, 18, and I did not want to have kids at all, to the point where I'm now 21 years old, about to
Don't do it.
get into being on my own.
Don't do it.
And I now want a wife and kids, and I want to do all that stuff. So
No.
my advice to you is, if you are going to do this,
No.
and that's the path you choose, at least freeze one of your sperm samples. That way you can, if you want to have that blood connection with a child, you can have that option. But also, what is a snake without venom? It's just a belt.
Yeah, true. That is a statement. I would say just. Oh, go ahead, Cole.
I mean, no one can answer that except for you. Only you know what you want.
No, but he doesn't know what he wants because he's like 19.
No,
he's even expressed that he's 19.
Well,
I don't know. Should I do it or not?
But no one else knows what he wants either, so he can't get someone.
No,
else's,
I know what he wants. Don't you know
what I mean?
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt, Cole, but real quick. It's a very intense procedure. Sure, it's free. Great. But it'll always be free in the foreseeable future. So just don't do it now. If you're not having sex, then why bother? And then when you find someone you want to be intimate with, then make the decision. I don't know why a 19-year-old is like, I'm going to make a major right turn.
Maybe
in my
he's
life.
Getting a bunch of strange and he wants to be safe with it.
No, he literally said, and then in the instance that I do have sexual activity later in life.
Don't do it.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not no risk. There's not even a goalie in the net at this point. Like, you're not going to score.
Right. So, and even if he was scoring, just use a condom and just deal with it. Like,
use a condom and pull out.
There you go.
Like,
I don't know. Sorry to interrupt.
Here's what I'm going to say. No, I agree with everything you guys said. I say don't do it. That would be my opinion. But if you're going to do it, two things. One, accept that you might regret it. Like, just accept that and know that you're going to have pain if you end up regretting it. Maybe you won't regret it, whatever. Mm-hmm. Also, if you do end up regretting it and you want a kid, you can adopt. I'm just saying. That's a thing. More kids need to be adopted.
Yeah, and he said that it's humanitarian.
That's all helmet.
No, I understand. It's like, but you can also not get a vasectomy and then adopt as well. It's not like to adopt they have to. You're forced to cut your tubes or whatever.
Right. Well, I don't know. I've never had sex without both of them down there. Without Batman and Robin down there, I don't.
They don't.
That's not how that works.
I know you don't. I don't know they don't take your balls away. But,
they remove your penis entirely.
Well, no,
and pee out of a hole.
I'm just saying it's kind of like if you're hitting, like if you're at the plate and you're in baseball and you're hitting,
right?
You have like I don't know, you don't have a helmet on,
right?
It's like you're not really, your heart's not into it. If a fastball comes whizzing by your face, you're gonna get out of the way.
Sure.
Like it's just your heart's not in it, man. Like don't do this to yourself.
I don't get this metaphor, but there you go. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you and honestly, we can apply that to all extreme life decisions. If you're like, I don't know, what's an extreme life decision? I don't know, tattoos. Not saying tattoos are bad. Not saying tattoos are bad, but don't do something that's like out of a whim. Because I think this is just a random thought of like.
So I should get the tattoo of Roy Orbison off my ass?
No, okay, yes, that one specifically. No, but it's like because I've always heard like with tattoos, you want to like think about it for like a few months, like. Or even like potentially get like a fake tattoo of it and see how it fits with you and see how it sits, or like get it printed somewhere and keep it on your wall. And if you like it in 3 months, then get it or whatever. Like there are steps to take with extreme life decisions that have a, I guess rephrase it, life decisions that have a permanent effect on you. So
yeah.
Whether or not, yes, you can remove a tattoo, but it's painful and costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it does.
So,
I guess I would keep a picture of your twig and berries up on the wall, and then put it on the fridge.
Where's that? Mom, nothing. Gone.
And then wait a couple months and look at those every morning when you go to get a box of cereal and be like,
should I miss them or not?
Exactly.
All right. Well, the chicken.
Which one do they cut?
No, it's just there's the tubes leading to your balls, and then they cut it and tie it.
I know, but which one? Like, doesn't one get your dick hard and the other one supplies the actual sperm? I don't know. I'm not a surgeon.
All right. So while I do chicken stuff, need help with a girl. A girl asked me if I've ever dated anyone. The answer is no. What should I say? I just want to be slick. Answer.
No, don't say anything.
He wants to be slick.
Don't communicate with her. Just go on a date and never say a word.
Go into the forest and live out the remainder of your life there. I don't know. I would just twist it into, I don't know, what do you define as dating?
Just say you're inexperienced. Just be honest. Say you're inexperienced. Don't give a yes or no, unless you want to give a yes or no. It's whatever.
Wait, what was the question? Was have you ever dated or have you had a girlfriend before?
He's never been, or he or she has never been on a date, and the girl was asking if he's ever been on a date.
I would say I don't do this often. That's how I would spin it. It's like, no, I don't really date often. And then that, at least the girl has something in your, that at least plants the idea that, oh, he might be a little inexperienced. He probably just doesn't talk to girls anymore. He might be kind of shy. And so, but I don't know, if you, like, I've never dated before, that kind of sends off the vibe of.
What was their age?
Yeah, what was the age?
Didn't say.
Let's go with 22.
I think that also affects it. If you're like 16, 17,
yeah.
18 even.
14, 13,
you could probably be honest and just say, hey, I haven't really dated. But if you're like in your 20s, you should maybe.
Ooh, what if he's like in his 40s or 50s?
40-year-old virgin?
He's a 60-year-old virgin. That's unfortunate. I would just say that's unfortunate. That's not gross. That's just unfortunate. Anyways, next question. Sister has a drinking problem. How to help her? My older sister, 41, started drinking heavily in the past 2 years. She is what I would call a functioning alcoholic, but drinks almost every night. She hides bottles around the house, and when confronted, typically lies about drinking at all. She has been in the hospital for falling, and I'm scared she's going to end up there again. She has admitted once that she drinks because she hates herself and does go to a therapist for depression. Anytime she does admit to drinking, she will always say she's going to stop, but of course she doesn't for longer than a week. Is there anything I can do? Yes. Just be there for her. Forever.
I mean, that's a big question.
Dies.
I mean, have an intervention? I don't know.
I think if someone's currently just denying things and they're at that point in their life where they're not willing to change, because that's boil it down. You can't change someone who doesn't want to. You can advise them.
Oh, for sure.
You can give them as much information. Say, hey, if you keep drinking, you might have liver problems down the line, and
they can kill you
or whatever. Yeah. So you can.
But they're not going to care at that point,
right? And so I think at this point, if she's in the mindset of, I don't have a problem, I'm going to keep drinking, whatever, then you just always be there for them. Like literally, hand in arm. Obviously, don't lubricate the situation where she can drink more, but what is enable? I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Don't enable her, but definitely just if she falls, take her to the hospital. If she gets into a fight because some guy was trying to hit on her and she got upset, then make sure to
drag her ass out of that club and get her home.
Exactly.
And all that stuff.
So definitely be there, and then down the line, have that conversation of, well, why are you drinking? What is this? Because if it only happened 2 years ago, there's got to be a reason, right?
Yeah, I would just try to be as best example for that person as possible too. So, like, I have a family that, tends to have a problem with this same kind of, issue. And one thing that I know that you can do to help somebody is to not drink around them and to be the influence that, maybe can help them down the road. But also, and this sounds cliche, but some people do really need to hit rock bottom before any change happens. And some people have the ability to, I'm kind of fucking up right now. I'm drinking way too much and I need to, take a step back and change. But some people need that kick in the ass or that run in with the law or the waking up, realizing what the fuck am I doing with my life. Some people need that. And all you can do is hope that they don't get to that point, but also, there's a silver lining.
Be there in case they do.
Right, there's a silver lining there that sometimes that's what people need. But just like you've all said, be there for her in the time being. Like it's a personal journey that somebody needs to take on their own sometimes.
How vocal do you think he should be about how it feels? Because obviously, if you're pestering someone about it, they're going to get annoyed. But
right, and sometimes that fuels the addiction itself. Mm-hmm. And so, if it gets to a point where they're ruining their lives and other people around them, then, it's time to step in and say, hey, man, or hey, sis, what the fuck are you doing? You got a kid, you got a husband that's thinking about leaving you, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. You got a job, they're about to fire you. Like, it's time to wake up. This is not helping you.
Forced reality
Right.
If it needs to be.
If it needs to be, but I have functioning alcoholics all in my family, and it's killing them physically, but they're otherwise, stable people that have jobs, families, and all that stuff that they can function just fine. It's just they drink throughout the day. That's just how they roll.
Cole, any closing thoughts as well?
Replace their alcohol with hot sauce.
Yeah.
Which hot sauce though?
Your favorite brand.
Oh.
Look at Hot Ones with Sean Evans.
Yeah. Have you watched Hot Ones? Mm-mm. Such a good show. I'll show you an episode.
You guys said what I would say, so yeah.
There you go. Cool. Cole has no originality is what is the conclusion of that point.
I don't know how you got to that, but
it's obvious. My girlfriend of 3 years cheated on me, and I don't know what to do. My girlfriend of 3 years cheated on me, and I'm stuck in an apartment lease for 11 more months. I'm afraid to break the lease. I heard financially breaking leases hurts you pretty bad. Any advice from anyone who has been in a similar situation?
Who is she living with you? Did it say?
I would assume they're living together if they have a lease together.
Well, then kick her ass out.
Really?
Oh,
what if he can't afford the lease? It's like they split it 50-50 and he can't afford it.
Nah, then I'm moving out.
Like, so just even if your name's on the lease?
Fuck, man. That sucks.
Yeah?
That really does suck. I don't know. Don't be a vindictive son of a bitch and,
right.
then put her in financial stress, because that, I'm sure, will destroy your credit, and it's hard to build back up.
Do you think maybe he can sublet, maybe? Have a conversation. Like, I think one is have a conversation of what do we do from now instead of trying, because I think making rash decisions without consulting the other person living, definitely. So maybe
is bad.
Yeah. So maybe it's like, okay, look,
this is over, but we have an 11-month lease to figure out.
Right.
I hate you, but we need to figure this out.
Don't say that, because that forebodes, and she's going to be like, well, I hate you too. And
that's fine. We have an 11-month lease to figure out, bitch. Right. Let's focus
don't
up.
Say words like that. That's rude. I would say.
Oh, that's rude, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
crossing the line.
Cheating's not that bad, but
it's not, huh?
I'm just kidding. No. So yeah, just have a conversation, because at this point, you can't make, like I said, you can't make any rash decisions. Everyone's an adult here. Yes, she did something bad. Does
it say both of them are on the lease?
No, but I would assume the reason why he's asking is that they're both on the lease, and it's like this thrown up situation. What do I do? So I
figured if she cheated, she would, and she's not on the lease, she'd already move out on her own.
Right. So yeah, they're both there. So I would say have a conversation, see if you can sublet, because if it's a nice place, then obviously they signed a year for so.
Or try to work it out. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know. I think that's a separate conversation. Is can you recover a relationship from being cheated on?
I think you can. It's incredibly difficult, but I don't think you should. Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't have any other responsibilities, I don't think you should. That's toxic for your mental and emotional well-being,
and you'll never be able to, or at least personally, I don't think you'd be able to ever trust them. It's always
never. Mm. So I don't know, tough it out, dude, and then make as much money as possible, and find the hottest, smartest, nicest girl you can, and invite her over for dinner all the time. That's what I do.
Would it be fair if in this situation, just you can't sublet, she wants to stay, blah blah blah, obviously he got the short end of the stick here, if he just moves out and then just pays his part of the apartment? Do you think
if you can financially afford that, then yeah. If
move back in with your
if it's like a 1-bedroom apartment and the rent's $900 and you're both are splitting $450, then I would, I'd find a regular place and do the same thing and just pay that $450, or make her do that.
Well, sure. No, I mean, again, it goes back to having the conversation about what do we do now, because shit hits the fan, relationship is most likely over, so how are we gonna is there a way to get out of it? Do you know?
A lease?
Yeah.
Doesn't an apartment complex usually charge you with like a lease ending?
Oh,
because when you break the contract, I don't know if they make you pay for the rest of the 11-month contract. I don't know. It depends on your apartment community and the leasing office and the management there. But I hope on the if you're lucky enough to have an apartment community and a management team there that allows you to, just pay us this amount of money and we'll forget all about the lease, and you break the lease, then I would do that as quickly as possible. But if not, it's time to hunker down and, like I said, make as much money as you can and find the sweetest, nicest, smartest, hottest girl that can tolerate you, and then invite her over for dinner all the time.
Is this a movie? Is this like a...
No.
Is this a movie idea?
Should be?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, who's the lead?
Me. I'm just kidding. No, I agree. I think it's just...
That sucks, man.
That really does suck. That's unfortunate. I don't know, maybe what about getting the parents involved? Just say, hey, look, this is what happened to the relationship.
Your daughter's a whore.
Well,
let's
okay,
discuss this further.
Okay, that's gonna not...
I would not get parents involved.
I wouldn't either, no.
Just say...
Parents getting involved
I don't need mommy and
always
daddy to help
messy.
me figure out my own shit.
I don't know. I think they could, because then it's like, look, if the parents of the girlfriend, maybe they could say, okay, I'm sorry, our daughter's horrible, then here's money. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of...
Parents are always going to defend their kids, though, unless their kids are truly, like, evil, disgusting creatures.
Right. Cersei defended Joffrey, for God's sakes.
The only reason I say, like, don't get parents involved is because I feel like at that point, if you're like, hey, your daughter did this, you guys should pay the rest of the lease, or all this. It might, like, turn into lawsuits.
Yeah, that'll sour some
some grapes. You guys
grapes.
start arguing over leases.
I mean, I don't take it to court.
The amount of money would be better to just keep paying the lease than take it to court. Like, it's going to cost money.
What can you sue? Like, what's your case in a civil court? What's your case?
Because of an action that you did, now I have to throw away X amount of money. So if it's like $1,000 a month that you're paying, and it's a $2,000 apartment, well then you're out.
Right, but what law was?
Well, no one's making him do that though. That would be a choice of his own.
Well, I'm sorry, Cole. What'd you say?
The thing is, I don't think that would hold up because no one's making him shell out that money. It's his own choice.
No, you could potentially argue duress because you'd break that and hurt your credit and potentially hurt your future. So
I wouldn't take it to court though.
Oh, I'm not saying he should. I'm just again all available options.
Yeah.
Of that.
Replace her alcohol with hot sauce.
There you go. That's smart.
Damn, this kid's a genius.
Line her toilet paper with...
I'm actually curious as to what, like, the comments in that say.
I don't know.
Like, what the top-rated thing says.
There you go. Okay. How to deal with a jealous coworker. I work at a cafe, and most of my coworkers are 18 to 22 years old, including myself. I am being promoted to a shift lead position. Woo! And have a small number of coworkers that are not happy about it. They say that they're mad because they deserve the position instead of me. Although they haven't talked to me directly, I have heard from other coworkers that they have been trash-talking me. Even though we have always been friends and I worked together and have worked together well since I got the job, how should I approach the situation? Talk to them? Ignore it? What?
Yes. Talk to them. I don't get why people ask these questions. Everything is solved by communication. Or at least you can reach a point of whatever through communication. Well, if they were your friends and they're jealous of you for something that, like, if they're not happy for you, one, they may not be the best of friends. But just talk to them. Be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. It's not my fault, this or that. I don't get why you guys can't be happy for me. And I'm not looking to have bad blood here. You know, see if you can work it out. And if you can't work it out and they're dicks and they're just like, oh, blah, 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 then be like, all right, be that way. We're no longer friends. Peace out. I'm going to go. Be cool.
Cut their friends off. I would just say, if
you do. If they're not happy
if they're going to hold it over you,
dicks and trash talking you,
right? No,
those are not friends. Friends don't do that.
Okay, yeah, all right, fine, take it back. But I think it's just as fair to not deal with it because if they're still doing their job and they're not like purposefully sabotaging their work to make you look bad, then I don't know. I think ignoring it as well is a fair.
I just don't think you should let stuff like that bubble up. That's all I'm saying. Because if they truly are very jealous and you don't like communicate with that and try to at least clear the air, it could lead to, even if you don't want it to, it could lead to ruined friendships and to problems in the workplace. Because if you guys have to work together and they're angry and resentful towards you that's not going to be an effective workplace.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, Blake, you're pretty quiet.
Yeah, just try to be as professional as possible. You're still in a work environment. You're still, you're going to be having extended contact with these people. And so try to be as professional as possible. If they start, not doing their jobs correctly and you understand, you recognize that it's because of you being promoted, then it's time to step in and say, hey, I understand that you guys are upset by what happened, but if you want to keep your job, I would strongly suggest that you try to get over that and understand that your employment is worth more to you than it is to me. Because I can always hire somebody else. It may be a pain in the ass for a little bit, but I can hire somebody else.
Would you then would you try and handle this in the work environment, or would you handle this outside?
Well,
not like take it outside.
If they're your friends,
right, and you have your numbers or something, say, hey, let's have
meet
a conversation.
Let's meet for coffee. Let's grab a beer or something. Let's I get kind of, if that doesn't violate any boss employee kind of rules that you have at your own workplace.
But you would say it's better to handle it within the workplace.
Yeah, you need to be professional about it first.
Okay, that's fair. Cole, anything?
Nope. Just communicate, be professional. Clear do what you got to do.
Okay.
Don't make things worse.
All right. A couple more questions. This is a short one, hopefully. How do I tell my employee she smells? It's bad, and it's BO. She acts tough, but it'll still hurt her feelings. I'm getting to the point I have to say something. I'm the manager here, and the rest of the team is complaining to me.
Ooh.
Ew.
I was going to say leave an anonymous note, but if you're the manager, then it might be best to do it face-to-face.
Wait till the next company gathering, and then gift her
Call
a
her
bar
out.
of soap. Oh, no.
Don't.
Give her a toothbrush and a bar of soap.
So what smells? Does she have onion BO, or does she have smelly breath? Does she have a,
I don't know.
I'm not going to...
body odor, I guess. So
if you're their manager versus a coworker, because if you're a coworker, you don't really have a place to tell them these things. That's why I would say leave an anonymous note. But if you're their manager and it's an actual problem, that's a matter of hygiene and professionalism, and you should say, hey, I don't know what the deal is, whatever. I'm not trying to embarrass you or call you out or anything like that, but we have a standard and you're not reaching that standard. It's not professional.
You smell gross.
there you go. Done.
I mean,
boom,
okay.
over. Another one real quick.
You stanky.
There you go.
There you go. Another one real quick. I can answer this one because I would want to answer this one. Which iPhone, 8 or X, or the 10? Get the 10. Done. All right.
Well, hold on.
What do you mean, hold on? They're both expensive phones, and might as well get the better one. Trying to find one last one. There was one about running away, but it was really long. And
Yikes.
I don't really necessarily want to tell someone not to run away, but let's see. Last one. Girlfriend is being underpaid. How can we approach this? My girlfriend has been working in this company for a few years now and is dealing with an insane amount of work playing a pivotal role. They keep hiring new people who do less than her, but getting paid hourly more than her. In her last evaluation, she asked for much more than she usually does, but was met with a regular increase they give. How can she approach this? Should she bluff about another workplace that offers more? Should she wait for the next evaluation to bring it up? How so should she go about it?
I remember Jordan Peterson talking about this, and he said, try to be as unagreeable as possible. Like, to the point where you're proving yourself time and time again. And one of the many reasons why people don't get raises is because they're too agreeable and they'll just let it slide. Mm-hmm. So every month or so, have a conversation with your manager or your next superior and say, hey, I think I'm doing a lot for this company and I would like a raise. And then just keep at it and then keep working. You have to keep working your ass off. It's a double-edged sword. Right. If you're going to do that, you have to show your boss that you are worth that amount of money to the company, and you have to bust your ass even more. It's just reality of the workplace that we that we all sign up for these days.
How often can you ask for a raise? I don't mean to interrupt, but like how often can you say? Hey,
I don't know. I've never been the one to ask for raises, and so like they usually just come to me whenever they happen. But like I know I just got a raise in my job, and it was because at the start of the year I told myself you need to really start working your ass off to prove to these guys that you're worth being around,
right? That
you're worth keeping around. And so I did that, and it was 12 to 14-hour days, and it was nonstop, hands bleeding kind of work, and it paid off. And I know it's going to keep paying off because I know I'm going to keep working my ass off.
Sure.
And so, but if you are vocal about it, then the idea is it's further planted in the minds of your superiors.
Okay.
And especially if you prove time and time again that you're worth that enough money to that company for that raise, then by all means, keep it up.
Okay. That you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. Cole?
Yeah, basically. The phrasing of the question interests me, though, because it sounded to me more like it's not, hey, we want a raise. It's more like, hey, we're being underpaid, and we want to get to a normal pay rate.
Is there something you can report to?
Well, as long as it's above minimum wage, then...
Well, that's true.
I mean, it just depends on the job you're doing, and if it's not worth your time and your energy, and you already are proving yourself, I don't think you should have to, like, kill yourself just to get a wage that you feel is actually worth your time and energy.
True.
Yeah, I had a friend who was just going through that, and he was working nights, every night, all the time. He was getting, like, 2 hours of sleep a night, and he was still being underpaid. It was a minimum wage, but it was underpaid for the amount of work he was doing. And he said, hey, I need more money. The amount of hours you're making me work is not worth my health. And they're like, nah, we're not going to do it. And so he's like, all right, see ya. And he quit and got a new job. That was a choice that he made. And so if she's doing a bunch of work and she's already breaking her back and they're not acknowledging her work, one, talk to them about it. Say, hey, I'm doing all this work. You guys aren't giving me what I'm owed. And then if it's still not working and she's still putting in all that effort, she's still trying to prove herself, she's still doing this, and it's not working, maybe seek out a different job. Because you don't kill yourself for the job, but put your effort and work in for the job.
Right. You at least want to give your employer an opportunity to acknowledge your work. So don't go looking for a job and then say, hey, by the way, I'm leaving. Here's my 2 weeks notice for a job that's paying me what I'm owed. And the employer will be like,
give
well,
them the chance.
Why didn't the hell didn't you ask? I would have happily given you a raise. It's too late now. Go ahead. Actually, don't even put in your 2 weeks. You're fired. So there's always that possibility.
So I'm not laughing at what you said. The last question that we're going to end on is really stupid.
Okay.
So, but no, I agree everything that you guys have been saying in terms about that job related. It also just depends on kind of branching off what Cole was saying about it being worth it. It also just depends on what type of job it is. So if she is quote unquote in a pivotal role, well, is it in a business environment? Is it on a more hands-on manual labor type environment? Is it in fast food industry? So it just depends, and from there you can choose how much you can put pressure on and if it's worth leaving. So, all right. So last question. I don't know if this is because on Reddit they do have instances where it's just stupid questions. So I'm guessing it's stupid, but I think it's funny stupid. Accidentally smoked wood. So, I am 12 years old, and recently in my woodworks class, we had to burn patterns into some wood. Anyway, I leaned over to talk to someone who was there, and I still had the burning stick thing on the wood. Out of breath from talking, I took a deep breath, unknowingly smoking treated pine. It was like one puff, and it burnt my throat a bit. Is this dangerous?
We need to consult Ron Swanson for this.
We do need to consult Ron Swanson.
Maybe he'll say, as long as it's not mahogany, and you'll be fine.
That's true.
I don't know.
Because everybody hates mahogany.
Dude, like you took a puff of wood? Calm down, man.
Hey, he's going to die now. Pine is known to, if you inhale pine, burning pine smells, then you...
This isn't freaking Tide Pods.
Has he never had a campfire?
Golly, man. Smoke some... Dude. Come on.
All right. Okay. No, this is serious one.
Serious. Okay.
Serious. All right. I had diarrhea in front of... No, I'm just kidding. No.
How do I tell my wife that I pooped my pants?
Help. I'm pregnant. I found out a few days ago. I'm 22 years old, and I'm graduating from Syracuse University soon.
Good for you.
Keeping it is out of the question, but I can't decide between abortion or adoption. So if this was even a year sooner, abortion would have likely been the only option. However, I'm not able to carry out a pregnancy without hindering my academics and overall life. I'm torn because the guy who got me pregnant wants me to have an abortion. Now he's telling me that it's my decision to make alone. I can't do this alone, and I can't tell anyone else. I don't know what to do. Can anyone help me? I say just adoption. Well, okay, again, I can't say anything because it's not my body. But I would say in the situation, take personal responsibility. You're obviously partook in the intercourse that happened. So if I honestly don't think your grades will suffer as drastically as you think it would be. There are many ways in terms of online, other methods of getting the information you need / participating in class if you're planning on going above and beyond in terms of your master or PhD. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, up to you. I can't advocate either way.
I'll advocate adoption.
All right, sure. Blake advocates adoption. So
there you go. Problem solved.
Done. Cole?
Yeah. I mean, adoption is the preferable option, but I mean, she said that the dude said it's her decision to make alone. She doesn't want to make that decision alone, so maybe don't ask people on the internet and go ask some family or some people that you can trust and see what they think. And if it comes down to you have to make a decision, you have to make a decision. You did the action, and there's consequences, and so make the choice. And if that's abortion, that's abortion. That's your choice you're making, but you got to make a choice. And I guess it's obvious, but I don't think the internet is going to give you the best advice for that. It's a very personal thing.
Oh, real quick, they commented an update. This was a day ago. I'm not against abortion. I'm just very unsure of what to do because I am healthy and able to carry out a pregnancy. I'm just not sure of what the best choice is for me. You've all given me a lot to think about, but I think it has been helpful. So, what Blake?
If she can carry it out and she can live her life still, like if she's in a position to, go for the adoption route. But
yeah, and what a piece of shit, dude. First of all,
that's true. Yeah,
what a fucking loser.
This is all your decision, not mine.
This is your decision, and first I want you to abort it, and it's up to you. What a piece of shit.
Well, no, I was saying it sounds like abort it. But this is your decision alone. So
right.
You're going to have to
don't
live
worry
with the
about
guilt.
what I'm saying, abort it. But don't worry about what
right.
I'm saying, get the abortion.
Plus,
don't
I think
worry
it's
about
also
what
the
I'm
guilt.
saying.
It's like the guilt of your decision, that's all on you. I'm not sharing.
What a piece of shit. Like, that's your kid, too, you dick. God, I can't stand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to advocate you going and doing that procedure. I'm going to advocate, you going and trying to give that child the best chance that it has. Mm-hmm. But that's just my own view on the matter.
God, and your view is stupid. I'm just kidding.
That's fine.
No, I'm not necessarily trying to drag this out into a
we're not going to do an abortion.
pro-choice.
Yeah, we're not going to do that debate, but
no, let's do that right now. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, well,
no. I don't know. I guess if you're live with the consequence, if you have the ability, and again, like I said before, there are ways of continuing education without it being hindered when you're 9 months pregnant. Obviously, you're going to suffer a little bit, but it is you dug your own hole here. So, as horrible as that sounds, just this reality of the matter. So, Cole, anything?
And basically. And if you choose to get an abortion, I mean, just know what you're doing and be smart, be safe, and just be aware.
That's true, yeah.
All I can say.
Yeah. One thing I will want to add, I think it's kind of stupid, the rules and regulations that doctors make women go through before doing an abortion.
What are those?
There's like, first there is a waiting period, apparently. Like, you have to say, you go in, oh, well, are you sure about it? And then it's like, no, I'm just doing this because I woke up one day I wanted to get an abortion. So you have to wait like a few days or something like that. And then they show you like videos of like how it's either how the abortion is done, or it's like a bunch of kid advocating pro-life videos and stuff like that. And I think there's a few other rules and regulations that you have to follow.
Isn't that only in certain states though?
Oh, I mean, even if it's only in certain states, I still think it's kind of ridiculous that.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Obviously, well, okay, I say obviously, but I don't think any woman getting an abortion is just doing it because I feel like getting a well, you know, I would like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, there are very stupid people who don't take having safe sex seriously, so they're like, "Oh, it's okay. You can not use a condom because I can just get an abortion." Obviously, I think there are people like that, but the majority of people who are wanting this and it's weighing so heavily on them and they think this is the right decision, I think there should be a way to not have to go jump through all these hoops. I think there's an easier way where you can say, "Oh, well, you know, you did a stupid thing, then let's figure this out." So, I don't know. That was my only comment, is I think that some people are stupid. Yeah. Moral of the story. Cole, you're going to say, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, I was just going to say, I think even, I like to think positively, but I think even people who are, oh, let's not use protection, we can just get abortion, once they get to that situation, I don't think they're able to just snap their fingers and go through with it. I think even if they thought they could, it's always going to be a very heavy decision
sure.
on people.
Sure. All right, one last one I lied. This super quick. 4 hours of sleep or no hours of sleep? Blake?
4 hours of sleep.
Cole says 4. Blake?
I would always go... I used to go with the 4 hours of sleep method, but I would never wake up. And
I would say, if you can make it, I'd say no, because same thing with me. If I put my head down, I'm
gone.
Yeah.
If I don't get at least 6 or 7 hours, that 5 hour period of however much sleep, I'm not getting up.
Yep.
So... watch a movie, go for a jog, do something, drink a cup of coffee, do whatever you can, and then just sleep as hard as you can the next night.
Yep.
The thing is, that's very hard on your body. That's actually a very bad thing to do.
Sure.
So if you do the 4 hours and you're not going to be able to wake up, then don't do the 4 hours. Do 1 hour. Do 30 minutes. It's actually
like a power nap,
do something. Okay, that might be smart.
It's scientifically shown that even if you don't sleep, just laying down and having your body resting and having your eyes closed is beneficial versus trying to just caffeinate through it.
Fine, whatever. Use science for your logical reasoning, Cole.
Take a quick power nap, but do it in a position like... And I know if I ever need
alarms.
Well, no, I know if I ever need to take a nap, I'm not going to my bed. I'm not going to my bed, and I'm not going to like my favorite recliner or whatever. Sometimes I sleep on the floor, and I don't have a blanket.
Sure.
So I know that at some point I'm going to get cold or I'm going to get hot or whatever, and I sleep in my clothes. That way I know I won't be comfortable enough. Like whatever you can to make sure that you get your ass up.
All right, that's smart, and that is the end of the One More Podcast advice. So, done, over. Thank you guys so much for giving advice to these strangers on the internet. Again, trying to get this down. If you made it to the end, awesome, love you guys. Like, comment, share. If we
smash that like button.
Yeah. If there's something that you thought was interesting or maybe you could apply to a friend, low-key, send them a link to this and just say, hey, fast forward to this moment in time, and then we'll talk about your question. Or just comment. If you think we're wrong, if you think Blake's an idiot, let us know. Let me know specifically. I'll forward it. I'll definitely forward it. If you comment, Blake is stupid, I will send him a million times over and over and say, hey, look what this person said. Hey, look what this person said. Hey, look what this person said. So, yes, please do that. Or just have a legitimate conversation about some advice that we gave. So if you don't think that running away from home is smart, I don't even know if we answered that question. Whatever, I don't know.
We did not.
Something about alcohol. If you think your sister with alcohol is bad, then I don't know, man.
We are not liable for your life choices. Take responsibility for your own choices. Do not blame it on us. Do not blame it on the internet. Be smart.
Thank you. Be smart. And
we should have that like the skull and crossbones, like Jackass thing before.
Yeah, probably. No, I want people to. We need people to listen to me. So more people listening to me is a better country. Anyways, That is it.
That's arrogant.
Thank you for another awesome episode, you guys, for being on, and thank you guys for listening to this whenever you are, day or night or whatever. I think I butchered the ending, but whatever, I don't care. All right, peace.
Keep on rocking in the free world. Doot doodaloot doot. Doot doot. Hardwire. All right.
And that is the end of the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, we are sponsored by Bluebird Cottage Cafe and Event Center. Reminder, it's opening early summer, okay? If you want to go and visit, grab some coffee, have a light meal, or you can schedule a perfect event. All the information to get in contact with them is in the description.
This is the end song. It is now over.